Like many psychological illnesses, the origins to depression can be attributed to many causes. These causes vary from social economic factors to cognitive ones, such as those mentioned in Beck's cognitive triad. However, we're not going to be looking at what these causes are today. Instead, we'll be examining a theoretical approach in relation to one's own physiology. To better understand this concept, we first need to understand neurotransmission. Neurotransmission is somewhat important, as it allows the transmission of information within the body. The way it does this can be divided into several steps. Step 1. An electrical impulse called an action potential travels along the axon of the presynaptic neuron. Step 2. When it reaches the axon terminal, it compels vesicles containing molecules known as neurotransmitters to move towards the edge. As the membranes of the vesicles fuse with that of the neuron, the neurotransmitters are released into the synapse, which is just an empty space. The neurotransmitters bind to the receptors of the postsynaptic neuron, triggering another action potential. And finally, the neurotransmitters are then released. Some are degraded by enzymes, while others are returned to the presynaptic neuron with the help of transporter proteins. There are many types of neurotransmitters, all with different roles. A well-known neurotransmitter is dopamine, which is associated with movement, attention, learning, and the brain's pleasure and reward system. It is also believed that certain neurotransmitters can be related to depression, specifically noradrenaline and serotonin. Noradrenaline is released when an individual is exposed to immediate short-term stress, triggering a fight-or-flight response associated with increased heart rate and blood pressure. In the 1960s, Joseph Schritteraut came up with a theory that explains that the deficiency of noradrenaline at receptor sites can cause depression. This theory is supported by multiple studies that showed that there was lower levels of noradrenaline in urine and spinal fluids of depressed individuals, that depressed suicide victims had increased densities of certain noradrenaline receptors in their cortexes, and that drugs which selectively block noradrenaline reuptakes have been known to reduce the effects of depression among individuals. However, as found by P.L. Delgado and F.A. Moreno in the year 2000, there is a correlation between noradrenaline and depression, but the intentional lowering of noradrenaline transmission within a participant does not lead to depression. This led to the hypothesis that depression is caused in the brain area where noradrenaline is present. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter that is known to influence the majority of brain cells. By extension, it is thought to also affect mood and social behavior, appetite and digestion, sleep, memory, and sexual desire and function. Serotonin has been shown to have a similar relationship to depression as noradrenaline. Also, as shown by Minton et al. In 2003, it is believed that depression is linked to a low number of serotonin receptors. Another belief, as mentioned by Barry Jacobs in the year 2000, is that serotonin mediates the development of new brain cells, and a low amount of which can lead to depression. While the theories to neurotransmission seem to make sense, they do have a couple problems as well. One is that it is impossible to examine neurotransmission levels in the brain, only in the blood. Additionally, we aren't actually sure if strange levels of neurotransmitters cause mental disorders or are caused by mental disorders. So while we do see a correlation of the two, we aren't exactly sure what this correlation means. Okay, bye.